What is up, Packers fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Draft brought to you by Badger State Brewing in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I am your host and the publisher of Packer Report, Ross Uglem, and today we are talking about another one of our poll kids, if you will, another player that was not on my original list, but that was fan voted here into the prospect primers on the Daily Draft, and that is Texas Tech safety Jacob Morley favorite, Dadrion Taylor-Demerson. Now, Demerson's a really interesting prospect to me because, and I guess we're getting right into the Packers fit stuff right away, but that's fine. So, the discussion about the post safety, right? The middle of the field safety, I call them the center fielder, right? Discussion about the Earl Thomas of it all, the Ed Reed of it all, and even kind of the Micah Hyde of it all. But your single high guy with some range, with some ball skills. Maybe tackling isn't the most important aspect, but ball production, coverage ability, speed, range, those things are kind of higher on the list because you're not one of the eight. When you talk about single high, you're talking about 8 down low and 3 up top, whether that's in man coverage should be cover 1 or whether it's in a 3 high shell, cover 3. You're not one of the 8. You're not playing nickel. You're not playing strong safety. So when the Packers had no safeties, people thought that, well, who can play free? Who in this class can play free? Because we're talking about Jaden Hicks. We're talking about Sione Vaki in that way. Frankly, we're talking now about Cameron Kinchins or Tyler Nubin, the 2 top quote unquote safeties in this class. Both ended up kind of not as free candidates. So it's like, okay, who's free? Then Green Bay makes the big splash and brings in Xavier McKinney, and I'm thinking, well, runs in the 4.6s, big guy. That might actually, I thought, not a ton of free safety usage last year by Wink Martindale. I think it was like 38% of his total snaps were free safety. I think that number might actually include special team snaps too. So it might have been closer to 40% free safety usage, but not 60, not 70. A lot of box stuff for Xavier McKinney. So it's like, okay, you pair a free with him. And I would say Dadrion Taylor-Demerson is a free. And that's what I want to talk about right away in the pros. By the way, I think Xavier McKinney is the free. So now I'm going to talk about that in the fit. I'm not sure Taylor-Demerson is our guy. Plus, there's another issue or thing that we'll talk about in cons where also potentially not a Packer. But the time to speed jumps off. 4.41 in the 40, that's a corner time. Okay, that is moving. And then how do you equate range with the underwear Olympics, if you will, or with the NFL Combine? To me, range, the biggest thing is 3 measurables. Vertical leap, which is not necessarily how high you can jump. It is how high you can jump, but it measures your explosiveness, right? What's the other thing that I think measures your explosiveness? Your 10-yard split in the 40-yard dash. Well, Taylor-Demerson's vertical was 38, which is an 87th percentile number, and his 10-yard split was 1.51, which is a 96th percentile number for a safety. And then, of course, your long speed or your, kind of your range is that 4.41 40-yard dash. So Taylor-Demerson has unbelievable range, if you will, and I think free safety potential, and so that's why I kind of like him and understand where people are coming from on him. He's got good instincts. He's a playmaker. He's got plus ball skills. I think he'll be fine as a split safety if that's if he wasn't playing for the Packers. I think if you're going to run cover 2 or cover 4, he's going to be very, very fine in that, and he's got good eyes, good anticipation, reads the quarterback well, and then goes. He's moving. He understands route concepts, which I really enjoy. We talk a lot about the struggles of the Packers last year, and a lot of it was coverage busts. I don't think a lot of that is going to be a problem with Dadrion Taylor-Demerson. I don't. I think he has a very good understanding of route concepts, when to pass guys off, when not to. I think he's got an understanding of leverage. And again, it's the anticipation. It's his ability to read quarterbacks, understand what they're doing, where they're going, and really, I mean, he just gets it, man. And I know that that's not like super high tech and high level analysis. But watching him play, and Texas Tech's defense wasn't that great, and that's part of maybe why I was a little bit late to the camp on him. But he was not the problem, and I enjoyed him watching play football. I would say probably an above average tackler. I'm not looking at the PFF missed tackles or tackle percentage right now. I'm just kind of looking at my notes, and I think he does fine tackling. He's not, you know, she's not, excuse me, he's not elite. He's like he's not going to pop guys, but and I don't mean to dump on the kid, but he's like he's not Kalen Bullock. Okay, um he's not afraid to tackle. He does good job of getting guys on the ground. And what I'll say too is he has a good understanding. I not that long ago did the Peyton Wilson video and talking about him tackling people up high, talking about him being overconfident. I think Dadrion Taylor-Demerson as a tackler and as a run defender has a really good concept of who he is as an athlete and as a body. He will attack the legs. He will get guys on the ground. And like I said, he is not unaware of who he is. Whatever, he's not unaware of his limitations, and that's where we'll go into the cons. At 5'10" and 3/8, he's shorter than what Green Bay would normally like at that position. At 197 pounds, he is lighter than what Green Bay would normally want to do at that position. Then it's like, well, can he sort of be like a nickel free safety Micah Hyde type? And like, I don't know. I mean, I don't have agility data. He hasn't played a ton of nickel. I just don't know if he's going to be the size that you'd want there. He also is a little bit of a gambler and will peak. Like I mentioned his ability to read quarterbacks, and his anticipation is great. And I would say like 85% of the time it is great and it's a good thing, but he can also kind of get got in that way, in that a quarterback can hold him with his eyes, or if he is thinking he's going to make a play, he might let somebody slip behind him, and his film or even just his stats are not completely devoid of guys getting behind him. I think it's because he's so good at reading the quarterback and kind of making or hoping that the quarterback will make a mistake, that he will peek in maybe a half a step or a full step longer than he should. And that can lead to completions down the line. That can lead to, other issues with his coverage. And I don't want to, because I think he's a good coverage safety. Like, I don't want to necessarily pick on him a ton. The other part of it though is just like, he's 5'10", $195. I mean, and that shows up in the run game. He's not going to drill guys. He's not going to pop guys. He's not going to stop anybody dead in their tracks. He's fine, but he's not going to be like a plus. And especially if you're going to use him as a strong safety, which I just wouldn't do. But I mean, that limits him in some of the versatility. He's really more scheme versatile than he is position versatile, if that makes sense. I think you would want him away from the line of scrimmage as much as possible. And I know that might even sound mean, like I get this guy away from the ball, but he is a deep safety. He should be playing cover 2. He should be playing cover 4. He should be playing cover 1 as the single high safety. I don't think he's a box guy. I don't think he's a nickel guy. He's not big enough for that. He's not strong enough for that, but he does other things like super, super well. And that brings us to the Packers fit. I don't think it's great anymore. And the reason that I said that is just because he's smaller. Like, he wouldn't fit their thresholds, first of all. I mean, he just doesn't fit what they would normally do from a height standpoint and a weight standpoint. He's not big enough to play safety for the Green Bay Packers. They've made exceptions. And in fact, I think he actually has a pretty similar athletic profile to Darnell Savage, if you look it up. But I thought they brought in Savage to be the free safety to pair with Adrian Amos, the box safety. I don't think Xavier McKinney's the box safety. Not with what they're paying him, not with what he has as a free safety on film. And I know that doesn't come with 4.45 speed. It comes with 4.6 speed. But Xavier McKinney's so damn good at football that it just doesn't matter. So I almost think that they're going to pair a box safety with McKinney, like a Cole Bishop or a Tyler Nubin or a Jaden Hicks. I don't know that they're necessarily looking for Kalen Bullock or Dadrion Taylor-Demerson. And that's, like I said, where the fit stuff is not great. Also, Green Bay has not been super into the Big 12. Heavy Pac-12, heavy SEC, some Big 10 guys. For whatever reason, not big on the the Kansas State, the Texas Tech, even the Texas of it all. And not that necessarily you know not that necessarily makes him a huge problem at the position, but I just like I said, I don't think that that's the way that they're going to go overall on Dadrion Taylor-Demerson. I have just trying to find it here. So he's player 118 for me. He is safety 10. And size is a big piece of that. Size and strength, frankly, is a big piece of that. He is he's got a solid 4th round grade. Like, don't get me wrong. I think he can be a starter in this league. That's kind of my thought on a 4. When I give a guy around 4, I'm saying I'm not, convinced that he's going to be like a plus starter, but I think that he can start without killing you. And that's sort of where I am on a lot of my 4th round grade guys. Is should be good on special teams, should develop into a starter, should be fine. That's what a 4th round grade kind of means to me. And that's where I'm at with Dadrion Taylor-Demerson there at player 118 overall with a 4th round grade. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. If you are on the podcast side, buy the daily draft, buy the Packer Report draft guide with the 10% promo code, which is daily, DAILY, as in the daily draft. That's the word that I was trying to get out of my mouth. Follow me. I'm at Ross Uglem on X. Check us out over at Packer Report. The first month is always $1. Packer Report, just Google it. You'll find us. We're also on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, at Packer Report 66. Shout out to Ray Nitschke. Do all the things that you're supposed to do here on the Pack a Day Podcast YouTube feed. Like, subscribe, click the bell, get the notifications so that you can get every ounce of Packers content you require on a daily basis. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go Pack, go.